What's up, family? Got your boy DCN hosting tonight. Big Q will be showing up later. You know we gonna provide y'all with all the interesting, educational, entertaining Pels talk, and that's what we plan on doing today. We all gonna open up the chat and allow y'all to come up and talk y'all stuff too, man. Got a lot going on in Pels world, as you see. Welcome to California. What Brandon Ingram wasn't. We getting in talking about that today. But not am I only up in here by myself tonight. I'm riding shotgun with your girl Lex, our wonderful co-host. What's going on, Lex? How you doing today?
What's going on with you?
Oh, it's all good, man. I can't complain. Everything is everything. Trying to figure out what's going on with these Pelicans as usual.
Mhm.
They leave a lot of things to the imagination, as well
Mhm.
as show us a lot of things that we don't goddamn understand. First, we gonna start off with pretty much the main topic, talking about Brandon Ingram being a flight risk by an NBA analyst, whoever this is. You want to read this article, or you want me to take it, Lex?
Yeah, I can read it. All right. It says New Orleans Pelicans star considered fight risk by NBA analysts. New Orleans Pelicans star could be on the move during the 2025 NBA offseason. This article was written by Kenneth Teep. All
Okay.
right. The future of New Orleans Pelicans star forward Brandon Ingram is as up in the air as ever. Without a long term contract in place, it is anyone's guess where he will be playing basketball beyond the 24-25 season. Will the Pelicans and Ingram find a role and contract number both are comfortable with ahead of the campaign getting underway? Or will this be something that looms over the franchise through the deadline in February? Until a new
Hmm.
deal is inked or a trade is made, it will be the biggest storyline in New Orleans. Underlying issues will be the kind of role he plays and how it impacts other wings on the roster, such as Trey Murphy and Herbert Jones. By all accounts, Ingram looks like he will be remaining with the team heading into the season. That puts a lot on the plate of head coach Willie Green, who is going to have his hands full finding minutes for everyone on the perimeter. However, his long term outlook with the franchise looks as bleak as ever. DeJounte Murray is probably a cornerstone piece along with Zion Williamson, Murphy, and Jones. CJ McCollum remains in the mix as well. The team still has promising wing Jordan Hawkins, too, as they wouldn't be hurting for depth should they opt out to move on from Ingram. In the opinion of Greg Swartz of Bleacher Report, that all plays a part in Ingram being a flight risk the second he is eligible to leave the team in free agency in 2025. This isn't going to end well for the Pelicans, a team that's already over the luxury tax line and still doesn't have a starting caliber center on the roster. Moving Ingram for one while trimming 1.7 million off the payroll remains the best path forward for the franchise, especially when factoring in future contract trepidations. Even if Ingram makes it through this season with the Pelicans, he no longer looks like a long term fit with the franchise, Swartz wrote. The writing has been on the wall for a little while. Ever since the Pelicans made it clear Ingram would not be receiving a max extension from them, trade rumors popped up. It is hard to envision any team offering Ingram a maximum deal, but there are a few franchises projected to have cap space next offseason that could throw a significant amount of money this way that would be too rich for New Orleans blood. And I
Come on
believe that
now,
is
dog. Come on, man.
Man, that don't leave you excited about anything. So,
no.
wait a minute. Not only is Brandon Ingram a flight risk, right?
Yeah.
He's apparently uranium or radioactive yellow nuclear cake. Nobody wants to touch him either because of his contract extension. So he's gonna leave for nothing, and we can't trade him, according to this article. And on
Yeah.
top of that, we had the voluntary workouts. They were voluntary. Zion was there for 2 days, Lex. He was there for 2 days, so I was
Yeah,
right.
before he hit China.
And he went to China, but
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Ingram didn't show at all.
Yeah.
Now, we've had voluntary workouts pretty much every single year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Brandon Ingram usually was the one to put most of the voluntary workouts together. And he always showed up. But amidst all the controversy and everything we got going on, Brandon Ingram did not show at all. Is this a huge deal? Or is this little to do about nothing? What you think about that?
I think yes and no. Obviously, when you talk about voluntary workouts, think of it like this. And I'm a visit football a little bit. For instance, if a quarterback does not come to voluntary workouts, it's a big deal. That's a very big deal.
I mean, do they still have the voluntary workouts? The
Well,
quarterback show?
what is it called? It's they have voluntary, isn't it voluntary camp or something like that? Where they don't have to come, they don't
I
have
think
to
it's
go.
mini camp.
Yeah, something like
Mini
that.
camp. The
I
camp
know
before
they have
training camp.
something, but I know what happened with Lamar
Yeah, something
Jackson.
like that.
Like he didn't show up. He actually didn't show up, not because, when he was going through his contract extension, and a lot of people were like, oh, what does that mean? And they made a big deal about it. He was actually taking care of some family business and things, you know what I'm saying? But he ended up coming like, to the other camps. He wasn't holding out, because a lot of times that means you're holding out for money. So that's why people were like making a big deal out of it. But I say that, and I'm not saying that Brandon is a quarterback or anything like that. But obviously, this is a guy who is supposedly a key piece, Pelicans, right? He's one of, part of the, core. I don't know if it's current. I don't know how you would want to put it, but he's supposed to. Let's just put it like that. So by this being on him, and it's the same with Zion. If Zion misses a workout, it's like it's a big deal. Now, for someone like Daniel Tice did not come to the voluntary workout either. But it's Daniel Tice. Who's tripping off of that? Daniel Tice is not a part of the core of this team. So when you look at Brandon, there's more weight when it comes to that, depending on, who you are on this team and, if you're a part of the core or not. And in that regard, it is important. It is a big deal. So on the other side of it, it is voluntary. So you can take it however you want to. I mean, obviously, when you couple it with Brandon's cryptic tweet or IG story, whatever, it doesn't really look good, because obviously we kind of understand what type of headspace that he's in right now. And, he's frustrated, talking about, his value and, obviously he doesn't feel like the Pelicans value his services or what he brings to the table, because, they haven't offered him the extension. But I mean,
and you got his tweet, what he posted and shared on his Instagram about they don't appreciate you in a different environment. Maybe you need to find another environment because they'll stunt your growth or something like that. And shout out to Chaz, man. What's happening, brother? Shouting you out next.
But yeah, I mean, you can take this like a grain of salt.
I mean, he was in New York though. It was his birthday.
I mean, well, yeah, it's his birthday. That's different. I mean, really, it's one of those things that this situation shouldn't have gotten like this to this point, because I think before it gets better, it's going to get worse, this whole situation is uncomfortable because you're in between a rock and a hard place when it comes to Brandon. The ball is not in his court. It's not like he really has a huge argument with his situation. And neither party seems to is gonna budge. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, but by default, the Pelicans have the upper hand in this situation.
Really?
I mean, yeah, because it's like we're. I mean, the thing is, mentally, it's going to be interesting to see how mentally where Brandon goes with this, where he goes with this, how this is going to affect the team, and this is the situation that the Pelicans have really designed all this, because it's like you've made a situation where now the whole team, is more than likely going to be feeling this. It's going to be uncomfortable for everybody. Dealing with this,
Ain't that what we need though? We had too much love and comfort, and everybody
well,
happy
this
is.
is because it is business. The thing is, they need to move. They need to move Brandon now. They really do need to move him. This isn't one of those things, because the thing is, he's not in the foreseeable future. And that's what makes this complicated, because, obviously you still have Trey Murphy, and that's kind of down the road, but it's like they have to take care of this right here. And really, it's looking like this is going to be a similar situation. I've been saying this. It's going to be a similar situation with JV. And the situation with JV is they went into the season, did not reach a contract extension, got to the trade deadline. They didn't do anything. And I don't care about that second round pick. JV walked for nothing. Because that pick actually was delayed. They kind of coupled that with, with the Atlanta Hawks and the trade for DeJounte and all that stuff. But they let that dude walk. And basically you're seeing kind of like deja vu, a similar situation with Brandon. They're not reaching a contract extension. They're going to go into the season. I don't really believe they're going to trade him at the trade deadline. I think they're just going to, let this ride out. And it's kind of weird because
What would be the benefit of that though, Lex? If they just let it ride out,
I mean, they did it with
they don't
JV.
trade him.
They did it with JV. They just
But
did that.
with JV, we don't know. Like, okay, we don't know what was on the table, right? And then if you did become a playoff team, right, they would have games where you would need JV. So
Yeah.
remember when we was going during the season, and I was like, well, Alex, if they do just move JV for nothing, it's like punting on your contention in the playoffs or being able to do anything, because he's really the only real center we have. Like, I know Willie don't want to play him, want to do all that small ball stuff, but you need him in some aspects, especially when you're playing in the playoffs. You need him. Like, you can't just get rid of him for nothing. I don't think it's the same thing with Brandon Ingram. They can take whatever the best deal is that they could possibly get, even if it may not be the best deal that they wanted, because you got to get something for him. Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. Then,
speak in the terms of who you talking about. Griff.
That's why I said what I said last show. If Griff don't trade him, like you said,
he's playing.
You know what we look, but you know what we looking at? If Griff don't trade Brandon Ingram, Lex, he is re-signing him. I promise you, he gonna re-sign him, because there's no way he's going to let him walk for nothing.
So
that would be an epic fail as a GM.
So that's throwing Trey out the picture, because that's what that means.
And we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see where the cars fall. I don't want that to happen.
They don't want to pay for that shit with the luxury tax. So it's like that.
First off,
Trey Murphy is younger and fits well with Zion, and probably has a higher ceiling. Well, we don't know that, but right now he has he already has something that's already trending in the league. And that is he shoots the three. He shoots it without
Right.
hesitation. And this is a shooter's league. It's a shooter's league. So the thing is that that's something that Trey Murphy has down. All he has to do is tighten up his defense, obviously add more to his game, work on his handles, add a little bit of mid-range, but he already has the foundation of what any and every team needs. The dude shoots threes, and you can't teach
You ain't gotta
16.
convince me. Matter of fact, everything you said, I want you to add that to David Griffin because I can promise you, if we aren't trading him, that dude will mess around and re-sign Brandon. Because for one, if we aren't able to trade him, that tells me
Right.
another thing. He not nobody who gonna give him 50. Nobody getting him 50 million next year.
But
Nobody's giving him 50
but
million.
I hope Brandon's not. Well, I hope Griff don't
Nobody
hustle
gonna give him
himself.
50 million. For him to get 50 million, Brandon Ingram got to come out there for us, and he got to be scoring like 30 something points a game, man. He got to look like
That's not gonna happen.
SG. He got to look like SGA last year for somebody to be okay, and take him and give him the 50 mil and all that initially. I think they'll have teams that will be willing to give him a contract and like, hey, prove that you're worth this 50 mil and give him a prove it deal type thing, or be able to give him a contract closer to where he at now. Because with that, the CBA, man, way that is, I don't think they're gonna be trying to bust that open till all that money flood in. And the cap ain't really going up nothing crazy next year, so I don't see it. And if that's the case, to let him walk to somebody for a lesser deal, not get anything in return, or maybe we pull off a sign and trade. That'd be the best hope. If he doesn't get traded during the season, like we did with JV, hopefully it won't be
Well,
piece by piece and pieced out
that's
over
why I
3
say I
weeks.
don't include that because that was delayed. I mean, that came like 2 weeks after or something crazy like that. It's like if you think
It
about
was because of the
it,
DeJounte
he was
Murray trade,
literally just he was walking, man. He was just walking.
right?
And it actually would have been more beneficial for them to keep JV and get Trey Murphy squared away. Because the thing is, we would have had a point guard and a starting center. And that's with if you would have went on and traded Brandon. Because we have plenty of wings, like the article was saying, there are plenty of wings. And I'm not saying like, because I know people talk about, well, this player is better than the other. It's not about who's better than the other. It's about the fit at this point. It's about the fit. And the biggest thing we've talked about it many times, Brandon has a problem shooting threes. I mean, he just has a problem with that. It's not first nature to him. And the thing is, like I said, and these are the trends of the NBA, it's a shooter's league. You gotta have, and that's one thing that this team struggled with all season was shooting the three. Not only shooting the three, but shooting the three at a higher volume. You know what I'm saying? So it's that's what it's about. And we got to have that shooting. And if he can't provide it, then what good is he to us? Because I mean, the thing is, it's not like Brandon's not dominant in the paint. I don't think there's anything dominant about his game. No one talks about anything that's dominant about Brandon's game. So the thing is that if you don't have any type of dominance or there's nothing like specific that you do exceptionally well, like, and when I say exceptionally, I mean like you're like top 5 in the league. That's something that Zion has. You know what I'm saying? And that's even without Zion having a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, we seen him in China, and he was backing down the Chinese and
yeah,
doing turnaround
and it's
fadeaways.
coming. It is coming.
I
I
think
feel
that
like
means a lot for
the
him to
game
do
is
that
definitely going to
and be
elevate. It
joking
has to.
around.
It has to. But I mean, it's a good sign. It's probably the most that we've seen with Zion and everything. They're not workout videos, but I mean, my thing is whether the workout videos are there or not, it's about when you come into camp, just be ready. Because
Yeah.
anybody can set their camera, can set their phone up, and be like, "Look at me, man! I'm working in the gym, working." You know what I'm saying? Do that for about 5 minutes, turn it off, and you leave out the door. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But I think this is
Anybody can
one
do
of
that.
those rare
Look,
situations where
I've done that before.
Zion know this year. We I don't think we getting a lot of the fluff. Like what you saying has been happening.
Yeah,
Previously we had all the pictures and oh look how he in such great shape and they putting the Bane mask on him and all that nonsense like that we always talk about. And then Zion to have like one dunk and they're like, oh look, see, hey, he been in the gym and but I don't know. This off season it seems different. Um
yeah.
like he wasn't hurt this off season, You know how I
Mhm.
keep advocating for that and going over that. He has a normal
Shout out
off
to
season.
Amy.
Shout out to Amy, man, the physical therapist. Boy, it would be nice if we could get
Look,
another one, huh?
should have had her 4 years ago.
Man, which who you tell?
What?
But Zion looks genuinely happy. He
Yeah.
looks good. You're seeing him. He looks to be down in weight. I don't know where his conditioning is, but that'll all happen when he start playing ball. But what I'm seeing so far, man, you gotta love it. I think this is the best offseason Zion has had in the whole era of him being here. And with that being said, with the addition of DeJounte Murray and all the other talent we have on the team, I think he's in for a huge season. But where does that leave Brandon Ingram? How does Brandon Ingram feel about that? What does he see himself or the role on the team? Far as him being able to still be that number one guy, because like I said, it's gonna be a 1A 1B situation. Them going in because it's in the Pels' best interest for it to be that way. Brandon Ingram won his money. He got a ball out. But I'm wondering if are we gonna see a more selfish version of Brandon
Yeah,
Ingram due to the
and
circumstances?
that's why I'm
Less
concerned
passing.
about his mentality.
But that's the version of him that we actually like. That's the version of Brandon Ingram that had 6 3-pointers to an extent when he was aiming to be that number one guy. Not so crazy about him leading the team in shot attempts. But if that's what it takes for us to be able to trade him, knowing that we can't make this work, that may be in the best interest of the team. And also, what is the relationship with Brandon Ingram and Willie Green after him benching him, in the Lakers game, and then all the nonsense that happened in the Thunder series. We talked about it when Willie was supposed to draw up some plays for Brandon Ingram, and he just said, "Oh, we're gonna let him figure it out." And this is basketball. Guys got to go out
And
there and
that's
figure it
always
out.
the answer. That's
Right.
what happens when you don't have the ability to coach. You know what
The
I'm
other team, they drawing up all type of schemes, and they didn't got clocked you. They got all your regular stuff, right?
Yeah,
Coach, what we gonna do? We gotta trust in the process. We gonna keep doing the same thing.
yeah,
But how does he feel about that? So I think we're looking at a situation where it's definitely gonna be rocky. And I made my joke last show about Willie Green being in a possible situation to succeed. When I said
mm,
that, y'all were going in other directions, but this is one of the reasons I feel that too, because he has so many things working against him. He has too much talent to manage it correctly, and also he has Brandon Ingram, who's going to have his own agenda.
yeah.
Right? He's going to be
I mean,
concerned with getting his numbers.
it's the same thing as last season. I mean,
No,
Brandon had
no.
something to prove last
Last
season.
se- but last season he made sacrifices. Although,
I
we wouldn't
mean,
say it was a total
he
success.
wasn't with it all the way
He
though.
shot 15, he shot 15 shots a game, Lex. And he had his highest number of assists that he's had in Pelican uniform, if I'm not mistaken, because he had to be the de facto point guard. We had the point guard by committee thing going on, right? So
Yeah,
he dropped in points per game. he did make sacrifices. He didn't buy into Willie Green and what they were saying because he didn't shoot more 3-pointers. That was supposed to be the main emphasis. Never
Yeah,
happened, right? So he did rebel. I'm not saying that, and
yeah.
I know that's where you're going. He did rebel, but he
I mean,
did
no,
make
Brandon
sacrifices,
said that. He alluded to that
though.
stuff. I'm just, repeating what he was saying.
He
So,
forced Zion to have to take a back seat. You remember that?
oh yeah. But you know what's really sad is that, to even fathom that, that the fact that they told Zion that he had to take a back seat, that's very disturbing. That's kind of disturbing because he already built up his game around the league that, he was dominant. He had a dominant presence. I mean, you even heard Paul George. No, he was saying with the interview with Trey Murphy, they didn't have a game plan for Zion.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
think
they
that was
had
just
nothing
the
they could do with him.
Clippers? I think
Nah,
that was other teams too.
there's only two teams I saw that had a pretty solid game plan for him, and there were two teams with the unique pieces to be able to pull it off. Because everybody isn't Memphis or the Bucks, as far as what they can do defensively with a guy like Jared Jackson Jr.
I
And
thought you were
some
gonna
of the other
say
players they got.
Orlando
Well, yeah.
because
You
we
think Orlando really had a
the
game plan
the
for
Pelicans
Zion?
beat the
Or?
Bucks.
Yeah, but they actually implemented a defense at least when they had Drew Holiday. I'm just going to the two times I seen Zion basically almost pretty much stopped. I didn't really see that last year with Orlando. Like it didn't look like they were shutting him down to me. We couldn't beat them
No,
as a
I mean,
team,
because
but
Zion,
they
I mean,
not
he has that
stopping
type of game.
killing Zion.
He has that
We,
type of game. Like he's gonna keep coming. He's going to keep coming, and I think that's the thing. It's like, dog, like we haven't deterred you away from coming to the rim, and it's like, no, you haven't. A lot of times when guys are getting those hits and things, that deters guys from going up in there. Zion's not built like that. Like, dog, I'm going in. The thing is that you can try to stand in front of me if you want to, but the thing is that I'm gonna keep coming, and I don't think you're gonna continue to take these hits because it's a two-way thing. Yeah, Zion he takes a lot of hits, but he gives a lot of contact as well, and it's like, man, I ain't trying to do this. So I mean, over the course of the game, it can wear you down. It can wear you down. I don't care how tall, because I mean, obviously his girth makes a world of a difference. And
right.
guys that have the length, they can't tango with that girth because it's all in their height. And since Zion can jump, you know what I'm saying, and he can do the acrobatic, movements in the air, kind of similar to how Kyrie does, making adjustments in the air and stuff. Um, it makes it difficult. And then he can move you out the way too. So,
Right. So
but
you don't really have a lot of people that can shut him down. But that's the only two times I remember watching him in Memphis one year. Where they that might have been when they had little crazy guy still over there went to Houston. What's his name?
Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks. Yeah. But when you have like a real good perimeter defender and you pair that with a real good mobile shot blocker, they were kind of pairing up to go at him. That's pretty much the only thing I've seen kind of be successful with him. Which last year I didn't really see none of it work. It's just we kind of would go away from Zion and not make him the feature, like you said, far as him taking that back seat and being concerning. But I think some of that during the season earlier in the season was them trying to figure out ways to preserve him and make sure that he plays 70 games, So we still got the thing where they try to put the little kid gloves on him and baby him and, you know, make this work for as his conditioning and injury problems because, he was overweight last year. So maybe that's why he took a backseat, But would love to be a fly on the wall in those conversations as far as what happened, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. That coulda had us winning another 3 or 4 games or so. We don't know what would happen after that because we wouldn't have had to play that Lakers game and would have initially been in the playoffs with a different matchup than OKC, and possibly Zion would have stayed healthy. So all of those small things could really change everything. But got the link in the chat, family. If anybody won't come in, chime in, speak their piece, say what's on their mind. We did this for y'all today. A lot of
Or
people were
speak your
asking about.
frustrations.
Well, we know we all a ball of anxiety right now. Everybody on pins and
Yeah.
needles trying to figure out
We
this
know
brand
there's a
new.
lot of questions with this team right now, and
Right.
it's like being in between a rock and a hard place. So,
It
especially as
is.
a fan,
It don't have to stay that way though.
it didn't have to get to this point. You know
It
what I'm
didn't.
saying? It didn't have to get to this point.
Not at all.
That's what happens when you're not proactive and you're reactive. You know, everything. It seems like everything thus far has just been delayed. You really have to keep up with what's going on with your organization according to the trends of the league. And you always have to stay aggressive on getting better.
Right.
I think the biggest thing, and you have to excuse me, but I'm just being real about this. The thing is that all that, that family stuff that Griff talks about, the community stuff, ain't nobody trying to hear all that. I mean, the thing is, the foundation and the focal point needs to be on winning, mentality wise, as well as, from top to bottom. You have to build those habits. That's what you want the foundation of the culture to be, not family and community stuff. The
Right.
community stuff, first of all, that's a tax write-off, man. Come on, man. I mean, all these dudes make plenty of bread. So that's kind of like what comes with the job description. And then the family stuff, look, if you're winning, you're going to be family anyway.
And
So that,
speaking of that, man, we got some family that then tapped in. We're
uh-oh,
gonna go ahead and bring in
it's
brother
Brother James
James,
in the
man. What's
building.
going on, man? It's been a minute. How you feeling, James?
I'm feeling good. Shoot, just chilling. What about y'all?
I can't
Doing
complain,
all
man. I'm
right.
doing good.
Good to have you up in here, man. It's been a minute.
What's on your mind, man? We ain't heard no takes from you over here in a minute.
Oh, I'll go let y'all finish first.
Oh,
I'll
good.
chime in after. I was just like I said, I just ain't been in here in a while, working, busy. That's all.
That's
Okay.
good, man. Go ahead,
Now you
Lexi.
can you can go on. I was just kind of capitalizing, like, just the foundation has to be winning. It has to be from top to bottom. So that's basically it.
No, yeah, that's true. Like it got to be, it got to be part of the foundation. I guess that's also a reason why they try so hard to uh, find particular like personalities and stuff like that. Like I know people laugh and joke about the whole family thing and everything like that. Like it's actually like a ongoing running joke that whenever they had put out that picture showing the what was that thing? Like we laughed, it was like we made fun of it, said like live, laugh, love, or whatever the hell it was, but it was like on
On the
in the
board,
practice,
in the
yeah, on the
gym,
yeah in the practice,
compassion and
yeah,
joy
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and
mindfulness.
togetherness.
And like we laugh about that, but like the joke was that ever since they put that up, they were like 30-10 or something afterwards. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so but like it's funny hearing and everything like that. But you know, they have done a good job, have finding some dogs and Jose and
Mhm.
Herb Jones and Najee, he gone now, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
he had that dog in him, and um, those are the ones that help you build a foundation. But it's supposed to be around your stars, so hopefully, like at some point, they figure it out. Because if you notice, every team they pretty much have they come with the attitude that they superstar have. So it's on Zion, unfortunately, and the last couple of years he hasn't done what he was supposed to.
I mean, what you mean, far as him not staying healthy, or just not stepping up all the way?
I mean, a little bit of both. I mean, and I say this: I'm not one of the ones that believe he need to do it the same way Ja does it or Ant does it or anything like that. Like I don't care how he did it, but the main thing that if you notice from both of them, the main thing is they did play, and so because they played, it made everybody else fall into their proper roles. Like everybody was wondering what was gonna happen between Cat and Ant because Cat had been there the longest. It was obviously his team before Ant got there, and Ant comes in and he doesn't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna take over this my team." He says off the rip, "This Cat team, I hope we win this together." And then as he played more games, it was obvious. I hear you, dog. It ain't Cat team, it's yours because you hear and the team looks a certain way as they as you play more games and they kind of bring on your bravado and your attitude. Well, guess who hasn't been playing for the Pelicans the last 5 or so years since he's been here? Mr. Zion Williamson. And I'm a Zion fan. So this is me. Like I said, I'm not, saying anything outside of what's the truth is that if he played more, Brandon Ingram has no choice but to step back. If he played more with his more, because I think one of the main things too is that the reason why he didn't step in and be a leader or try to be a leader the last couple of years is because it's hard saying something when you ain't here. It's hard to tell somebody, hey man, you need to run this, do this certain thing when I'm the one that's been here, you haven't. Like, so he took the back seat because he felt like I ain't been here, I ain't got no voice, I can't say nothing. But if you notice, towards the end of last year, he played more games. Brandon Ingram wasn't here. Who was the one doing all the talking? It was him.
Oh yeah, he was getting a lot more vocal.
A lot more vocal. Whenever you saw they had end of the game press conferences or end of the game, like the little interview before they go off into the locker room, they talking to him and there's a whole bunch of people around him talking too. So you saw that as it goes on. So the more games he plays, if he continue doing what he's supposed to be doing, everybody, I don't know if y'all reported on this already, they said he was at the team gathering they had last week or this past week in California. He was there for the first 2 days.
Right. Yeah.
Which we all know, anytime they've had that before, he has not been there for whatever reason.
So, I mean, Brandon Ingram was hosting them, all other ones.
Right.
And Brandon Ingram wasn't there this time, and Zion's there for 2 days.
And see, you starting to see, and the other thing is that the communication outside of the organization or the conversation that escapes now that gets into the media about Zion and stuff like this. In the first time since he's been here, it feels like they're comfortable enough to say, yes, this is our guy and we're focusing solely on him because he's finally giving them a reason to do so.
I got a question for you. Because I feel what you're saying, but we still have not heard Griff come out and say that and point that out. Do you think that holds any weight?
No.
Because obviously he said that with Drew, but when he has been asked that question twice about, it being Zion's team and building around him, but he's actually beat around the bush with answering the question. So how do you feel about that as far as Griff, kind of, because we say it,
right?
The media says it,
right.
But it's like obviously Griff, who's making the decisions, who's putting, everything together, he's not saying it. You think that matters?
It does to a certain extent. I think it's a situation where you still kind of you still waiting, right? Like you still, for him, it's like, I see everything that you're doing. Let me keep my eye on it. Let me make sure, like everything was looking good. Because even during the season last year, they said that after they got embarrassed in the IST, his whole dynamic shifted. Zion did. So it's like, okay, you fixed it during the season. Let's see how you carry through the off season. And he kind of did, to say, like you said, he beat around the bush. He didn't just come straight out and say this Zion's team, but he was sitting there like, we need to now focus, have a focused approach and everything like that at the his end of the year press conference and all that stuff. And if you notice, like I said, he didn't come out straight say it, but everybody else was pushing that message like, this is Zion team, this is Zion team. Hell, the person you traded for, DeJounte Murray, came out and said, he's our superstar.
And even then, it's like there was like 3 different mentalities as far as with that up there. When you listen to Griff talk, he was talking different than DeJounte, and the same thing with Willie. It's like there's none of them were in sync. And Willie, I think Willie sounded the worst out of all of them. So
I mean, it's a situation where like, I mean, I don't recall what Griff said, but I think the thing is, and I know what part you're talking about when he said it's gonna be a challenge and stuff like that. Which, again, like, it will be. I don't care who the coach is. It's gonna be a challenge with you having 5 guys on your team that could score 20 points. Like, if you think about it, the only team that's built like that has 5 guys that can give you 20 on any night is the Boston Celtics. Like, that's it. And so it is and even then, it's like, people was talking about firing old boy that was in Boston because they said he couldn't figure it out, because they said he was over his head last year, and then they gave him more talent this year to try to figure it out. So it's really more about, at some point, 1, you guys got to be there. 2, you got to have buy-in, which that's why they had to come to Jesus meeting last year when like everybody else was buying in except for Brandon Ingram and Zion. And it's like everybody else doing what they're supposed to do. Y'all the only ones that's fucking this up right now. And so that's one of them conversations. That's, again, like, I'm putting the onus, me personally, on the superstar. Like, if you was here, we wouldn't have a lot of the questions that we had. We would have had a more straightforward direction because we can count on you. You can count on Ja being there before the whole gun stuff, so we can build around him. We can count around Ant being there because he showed that he's not going to miss a whole bunch of games, so we can build around you. Like, you haven't shown us that. And every time we somewhat believe in you, something happened, and then it derails the whole situation. Now we sitting here looking like, okay, what the fuck do we supposed to do? But again, now it feels that way. But I will say, I think the difference between Willie and DeJounte is that Willie, right, he does, it will be a challenge to try to figure it out. I think what DeJounte was saying is that he's in the mindset that, listen, I'm good. Like, whatever y'all need me to do, if y'all need me to score 15 points and throw 12 assists, I will. I don't have to score 20 points. Like, and I think that was what his mindset was coming out saying. It's like, you don't have to worry about me. Like, it may be a challenge for the other ones because, again, you got to worry about Brandon Ingram if he's not traded before the season starts, because, like, how do we get his touches? Because he is the second best player that's on the team. How do we get Zion easier touches, which is one of the reasons they somewhat brought in DeJounte, is to get him easier touches. And then you have to think about Trey Murphy. Like the only 2 people that's really on the team that's somewhat low maintenance is Herb Jones and Jose. You just put them out there and just tell them go sick them, and they completely happy with whatever role you give them.
You don't feel like Trey is low maintenance?
No, I think he's not. I'm not saying he's on the level of like Zion and Brandon Ingram, but at the same time, he is. You've seen his mentality. He think he the baddest motherfucker that's on the court.
I mean, shit, everybody's supposed to feel like that.
I mean, everybody's
Jose
supposed to
feel like
feel,
that too. He give me that attitude like he the
I
best
mean,
out there.
everybody feel like that in the sense of like I have to believe in myself. Like I know Zion has that. Like I'm talking about. There's a difference saying I believe myself good enough where I go on the court and I always make a play that I believe that there's no rotation that doesn't should have me not on the court. I'm talking about Trey is to sit there in the mindset that nigga, I'm trying to take your job. like he been looking at BI job since he got here.
Yeah.
And BI even said that. Like he said not last year, the year before the season started. He said that playing against Trey and seeing how quick he was picking it up, it was like, oh shit, he really on the way. And he had to sit there and bust his ass to sit there and say, hey, you good, but you still ain't here yet. Just to sit there and let you understand you still got a ways to go.
Right.
And so, like I said, you hear Trey Murphy. You saw the video probably where he recited all 16 people that were drafted ahead of him in order. Like he has that chip on his shoulder. And plus, like I said, he it ain't just the fact that he's due the money. He wants to start. Like he wants to start. And
I mean,
he
because he's still trying to get his money.
Yeah, and he gonna get his money. Like it's not a situation where like everybody probably worry about what's holding up. A lot of these contracts, especially somebody like him, probably gonna get done like the day right before the season start. Like I forgot who was last year.
So you think the Pelicans are gonna pay him?
Hell yeah, hell yeah. It's they probably if you listen to like people that have talked that's probably close to those situations, some of them that like cool with Trey Camp or whatever, and some that know how to inner workers with the Pelicans. Both sides have said we good. Like at this point, it's just more about I think what it is that they was hoping to try to get Brandon Ingram situated and have him traded before paying Trey because of the whole cap salary stuff. But they may just have to just go ahead and just bite the bullet and just say, F it, we'll figure it out by the time the season starts, but we still gonna pay you. Like he probably gonna get $27 million a year or 28 or something like that. Like he probably gonna get some people saying he might get almost as much as
Yeah, I'm
CJ.
getting 30. They saying 30, man.
And so like I said, he gonna get paid. Like that's not a question. Like he gonna get his money.
Looking at 180, 150, 120, depending on how they break down the years.
Yeah, he got his. Like I said, it's really more at this point semantics. Like it's like, okay, you happy, we happy. Soon as we can get some other stuff cleaned up. October, when the season start? October 23rd, October 21st. That contract probably gonna be signed.
But then the other thing, with them, I don't know if it's this major rush what they feel like they have because we have his bird rights, so he could go out test the market if you want. And whatever the deal is, you're gonna bring him back. I mean, but you run the risk of somebody throwing like 200 plus mil at him.
It ain't even just the money though; it's the poison pill stuff too. Like people will put in certain things in contracts to like f you over, like to the point where you have no choice but to just let him go. Because that's what they did with who was the team? I think Indiana Pacers had initially offered DeAndre Ayton a contract, right? And the Suns could not afford him to walk away because they had no center and they were so far above the cap that they wouldn't be able to replenish him. So it was better to keep him anyway. But the Indiana Pacers put in his contract where he could not be traded from this point until I forgot what the other point was. So it pretty much left you like 3 days to trade this man. And you could not trade, and then you could not trade him because I think you can't trade him to Indiana, and you couldn't trade him to another team. I forgot who it was, but they pretty much set it up where like the Suns were screwed into the offseason. Like even if they wanted to trade him a trade deadline, they could. And so it was like they was kind of effed up, and then they ended up making it work by trading him to the Portland Trail Blazers, so they can get old boy name. I can't think his either. But either way, but that's the thing that you don't want to risk, and you don't want to risk him, being pissed off for the whole off season too. I mean, the whole season as well. That hey, we're gonna let you wait for a little bit. So, and then if you pay him now, because the salary cap goes up next year and everything like that, that probably saves you about $6-7 million. Paying him sooner than waiting until next year. Because what you said, everybody's saying he probably gonna be $30-32 million. If he signs today, hell, next year maybe 38.
Well, I mean, they gave Scotty Barnes a $270 million. Scotty Barnes is good, but I don't see $270 million when I look at Scotty Barnes.
I mean,
but
they don't have
paying him more potential on what he could turn into.
I mean, they believe he's they would not trade this man for KD. like that tell you all you need to know about what they think about this man. Like,
where you gonna find somebody that can shoot from the logo that efficiently? Where do you find that to pair with Zion?
I mean, you can't. I mean, outside of Steph Curry,
he ain't going nowhere till 2029.
No, yeah, they locked him in. But but you not gonna. You talking about Trey, right?
Yeah, he's a unique player, but I think the fact there's players that are better than him, obviously.
Oh,
but
yeah, for sure. Like, to me,
with Zion, it's like it's a perfect match. Like,
which is why the whole ordeal, like, as much as the center thing obviously is something that needs to be resolved. The whole point also outside of trading BI because his contract is up due and he don't necessarily fit with Zion, it was to also get the two wings that operate the best around Zion in the same starting lineup, and that was Trey Murphy to start as well as Herb Jones. Unfortunately, because of the season that BI had last year, and we ain't the only ones that watch basketball, they did too.
Right.
And his contract is coming up. It ain't a lot out there. And it ain't just a situation where I don't think he has no trade value and don't nobody want him. It's just the return, like what I need to get back, y'all not offering. And I'm not finna just trade this man for any old damn thing. Like, I'm not finna just give him up to y'all for let me see. Like, I know we need a center, but to try, like, we're gonna trade him for, like, I don't know what's the backup center for in the Nets. I think Sharp or what the fuck his name is. Like, I'm not gonna trade that man for Sharp and Cam Thomas. Like, I need real stuff, which I think ultimately I think the trade.
So you seen that dumbass trade proposal too, huh?
Yeah, like,
trip out. They had these trade proposals, man. Right. Where they sending guys like that back, and we still don't get a center. In what world would they trade Brandon Ingram and then not at least get some type of starting quality center?
And it has us sending out a first round pick or some dumb shit like that. Like, how did y'all really think? Listen, I know everybody hate David Griffin, think he dumb as hell. He ain't that goddamn dumb. He ain't finna do that. But
I don't think he dumb. I just think he the smartest person in every room he's ever.
Oh yeah, yeah. He one of one. He be reading them better help type books and shit. But but my thing is that like the only thing I think you got to worry about is Trey is more about the whole, like, how much longer is he's going to accept coming off the bench. Like, that's my only thing. And I ain't gonna lie, to me personally, like, I know a lot of people care about that. I really don't give a fuck. Like, if you coming off the bench helps us win, motherfucker, you coming off the bench. I really don't care about your feelings in that regard. But, like, I get that.
You talking about far as Brandon Ingram, though?
No. I'm talking about Trey. Like, like, I'm talking about Trey in that regard. Like, it's one of those situations like, hey, bro, he here. You gonna get 30 minutes. Just come out here and just shoot as many times as you want to. Like, you'll be all right.
I don't think Trey would trip on that, man, looking at the situation and knowing what it is,
like I said, I think he understands the situation enough to where he not finna make it toxic is what I'm saying. But the other part of, like I said, the other part of it too is that Brandon Ingram, for it to continue on, Brandon Ingram cannot be here next season, no matter what.
Right.
Like, they went into this offseason with the mindset to trade him. Unfortunately, they couldn't get real stuff. The only real plans that they really had that they could have, that they really was looking at, and you can blame Griff, but you can also blame the fact that this team is stubborn as well, is the Cavaliers. The whole plan that they had was, we're gonna trade y'all Brandon Ingram to give y'all another, pseudo half star, whatever, to pair with the team that you have. That way, so you can put Evan Mobley at the 5 position, because y'all play better that way when he's at the 5. Some people discuss it being like I think it was like BI and maybe a Najee or whoever else to trade to the Cavaliers so they can bring back Jared Allen and
The Karis LeVert. That's
no.
what they kept saying right now.
I kept
Max
saying
Strus?
the guard, the point guard.
Darius Garland?
Yeah, that's what I was
Nah,
saying.
they couldn't bring back both. That was way too much money.
Well, Darius Garland don't. But that was just before Jared Allen signed the new contract. He was making like
But he still was making like 20 million, though. Yeah.
Right, he was making right at 20 million. Darius Garland was making like 20 something. It wasn't. But the thing is
he
that
got 200. He got the $200 million contract. Bi won't. But it's I think it's over 5 years, so it broke down to like 38 or 30.
no, his
like
contract.
You would have to trade either off of them.
Did he get 200? Because I thought everybody was talking about he got less, because he got less than Zion and Ant. Not Zion and Ant. He got less than Zion and Ja.
Yeah, but he still got 200 million.
I thought it was like 180, but
I thought it was the same.
It might have been, but like
what Bi wants is basically just like a little bit more than him. But Bi wants 50 million a year.
Yeah, he want 50 a year.
Yeah.
Garland not getting 50 million a year. It's like broke down over like 5 years. So it's
I thought he was getting like 26 or 27, but that
if you try to trade Darius Garland and Bi, it can almost pretty much be a straight up trade.
Well, it wasn't go Jared, but see, the thing is that, and everybody knew this, a 1-to-1 trade wasn't enough. Like, Jared Allen for Bi wasn't enough because Bi is the better player. Darius Garland for Bi is not enough because Bi is the better player. So they were gonna send what my understanding is that the Pelicans were gonna send Larry Nance, which was part of a deal, Dyson Daniels, along with Bi, whatever combination it was to make the salary work, and they may rewire somebody somewhere else.
Oh, get both of them.
You used to get both of them. And then they also, I think CJ was in a situation where they may have traded him too. Either way, CJ was going to go get traded, or he was going to the bench, because they wanted to get a younger guard, and one that could get Zion easier shots, as well as, Trey Murphy and all that stuff. And if you think about it, yeah, it was a lot of money, but you got two dudes that's under the age of 30 years old under contract for like 5 years. So you would have Herb Jones, your starting 5 would be Herb Jones, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, Zion, and Trey Murphy.
That's awesome.
But the GM, when they brought in the coach, is like, we're not trading Jared Allen because love Jared Allen. And Darius Garland ain't finna get what he wants, so he's just finna sit here. And they just
said if they re-sign Donovan Mitchell, he wanted out, and then he recanted all his statements and backtracked on that and said it was
because the thing is, they also found out Darius Garland didn't have too much big trade value either. Like, if you listen to Windhorst, who's real tapped in Cleveland, because he actually said this on their show, was they reached out there and tried to find, a situation. He said there wasn't a lot of need for small guards because everybody already had one.
Right.
Like they had one, and the teams that wanted one either didn't have the juice to get him, or they like if he wasn't what they wanted. Like New Orleans didn't necessarily want Darius Garland. They wanted the person they wanted was Jared Allen.
Yeah.
That's who they really wanted. They didn't give a damn about Darius Garland. It was just more about like, we'll do whatever to make the trade work and to satisfy y'all too, and we'll figure something else. If Darius Garland come with him, we'll just figure the shit out. That's cool. But we'll be completely content with
if they got rid of Brandon Ingram, they would have still had to get a point guard though, James. So whether they wanted Darius Garland or not, they would have been right back trying to get DeJounte too.
But
we needed a point guard.
But the thing was,
let me go ahead. I was about to bring in Don Anthony in a second, man. He's been waiting. I'm gonna pull him up on the chat. But go ahead and finish your statement.
Yeah, I was gonna say getting DeJounte Murray had less to do with getting a guard than getting a more talented player that you gonna eventually replace Brandon Ingram with. Like it was, because if you hear Griff talk, they don't necessarily believe they need a true point guard. They feel like Zion is.
But that is so stupid, because Zion, to me, out of all the dominant players in the NBA, he's one of the ones that rarely gets easy buckets because people set him up. Very rarely. So why wouldn't you want a point guard for him?
Well, I ask you this though, because I'm going down a list of teams.
Or at least a facilitator, a combo guard, something.
Who sets up Jokic? It ain't Murray.
I mean, Jokic kind of.
Yeah,
he's the engine.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's the engine.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Luka's point.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think about the Suns. Their main issue was the fact that you had all scorers.
No point guard.
like they didn't have
gonna make a huge difference over there.
They just picked up
But let me bring brother Don Anthony in, man. What's happening, brother, man? Glad to have you on the chat, man. Sorry you had to wait so long, but what's going on? What's on your mind?
What's up, fam?
What's happening?
Hey, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I was just sitting here listening to y'all for real.
Oh, all right. I just wanted to pull you in, man. See if you had some comments. James up in here cooking, man, and we got our first question tonight.
I was good. Shit,
he hasn't been here in a while, so he had to
been a
get off his chest.
Yeah.
Speak on, brother.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, James can keep cooking. I'm here if I want to, if I'm gonna say something because I know James still wanted to say some more, so you good.
I was. I can always wait. I ain't tripping.
No, you good, bro. Well, keep going. I'm gonna insert if I need to insert for.
I do have a question though. How do you all feel about the possibility of getting Kessler? Do you think that's a good idea? If that trade is open.
Well, it's all in what it costs to me.
Right. I'm about to say, because right now we don't have a starting big, a quality starting big. So like Big Q, DC say, shit, it's all in what it costs. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously that we know we need that, but it's like obviously too we just can't be reaching for it too much.
But I also hate to break everybody spirit on that one, but they just drafted Yves Missy's 21, and him and Kessler are basically the same mold of a player. Like, would they do that knowing that they have a guy that they're building that's supposed to fit that mold?
Right, that's supposed to already, yeah. Right, that makes sense that they probably could look at it in that way.
And the Jazz want a draft pick from somebody. However we pull this trade off.
You see Kessler and Yves Missy in the same player?
No, I see him like far as the template of the type of player that they're supposed to be. I'm not saying they play alike, but their intention on the court is to do the same thing. A defending center who gonna grab rebounds, not much of an offensive game.
Well, that's true. That's true in a sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel it,
And
and I
they
guess
both young. Kessler is
yeah.
like 23, so it ain't like you could put him in and like,
Right.
all right, we're gonna let him cook until Ease Misi's brought along. Like, and you
Right.
got
And
to
you're
pay
not
him
gonna
big
build.
money
Yeah,
after
and then
2 years if he good.
you're not gonna build with both of them because they do the same thing. So it's
Right.
like, and then both of them young. So now that
Well, I
makes
guess
sense. What you're
I
saying.
I feel you, and I guess but the thing is, I think, and I know it probably make some people mad. I don't think they necessarily drafted him with the mindset
To keep him?
of they were gonna give him like real actual NBA run for the most part of this season because of the fact that he's so
Yeah.
raw. Like
Oh
I
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah.
I think they
Yeah, he's
obviously
a
they
G
had
League.
planned on if they were gonna keep the pick, and they said they tried to trade up. They said they tried to trade up to get Klingon and tried to trade up to get Zach
Edie.
Yes, they
Edey,
got
but
Yeah.
they wasn't able to. So the next best thing was okay. We'll stay at where we at, and we'll draft this kid that you've been having your eye on for the last 2 years or whatever.
right.
So whatever they was gonna do, I think they still wanted to get Jared Allen. Once they signed that contract and stuff like that, they killed all that because I mean Jared Allen can't be traded until
Yeah.
right
For
before
like
the
6
trade
months
deadline.
or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, to the trade deadline.
And that
So
goes over. Okay. Yeah.
before. So he still can be traded this year. He just can be traded for like 4 5 months or however long it
Yeah.
is until like January or something or whatever. So that was like, well, hell, that's kind of messed our plan up a little bit. And so
And there was no plan B.
no plan B. And I think the other thing is that I ain't gonna even
Or
say there was
C.
no plan. I don't even
Or
think there was.
D.
I ain't
Oh
gonna even say
man,
there was no
come on,
plan B.
Lex.
I just think what happened is that I don't think they expected nobody to want Brandon Ingram like that. I think that was the whole thing. I think it was just like, okay, because I think they had plan B's and C's and stuff
It's
like that.
hard to
It was
say with
just
Griff
the plan
though.
the plan
Yeah,
B's.
Yeah, the
I think
Brandon
was
Ingram.
Was they handing out the plan B's to the players as they entered the
that's
league
terrible.
to tell them not get in
It
trouble?
seemed like they were scrounging for just,
Because
whatever.
some people said they wanted, because they had centers outside of Jared Allen they wanted to look at. They liked Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah. I
They
don't
liked him
understand why they didn't go after him.
because Orlando don't want Brandon Ingram because they got another wing that they just paid a whole bunch of money. They got another wing that they're about to pay a whole bunch of money in a couple of
Like, they
years.
probably like wanted
And
her,
They
and
have
Herb
so
and
many
guys like
bigs.
that.
It's like they ain't even gonna be able
but
to
they
find
don't but they
playing
can't
time.
but they can't shoot but see, that's the other thing is too with Orlando. Where Orlando struggled is they ain't have nobody that consistently make threes. You finna trade them Brandon Ingram who also chooses not to shoot
Hey, no,
threes?
you think
Oh,
they probably
don't say it too
they
loud,
probably
James.
they probably wanted CJ and they wasn't willing to give CJ
Oh
for
no,
Wendell.
they would have gave CJ up.
Nah, I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think, but
Not for Wendell.
no. Obviously not just for Wendell. They would have had to do other stuff for it. But my other thing is too is that I don't think Orlando was like, we're not finna give you access for CJ when we just go out there and go get KCP. Like we have enough money to operate in free agency.
Mm.
We just made the playoff. We was the fifth seed. Everybody looking at us as this young upper team. We probably could convince some people to come down here without having to trade nothing because it's Florida. It's tax free out here, so you ain't got to worry about that, and it's pretty. Like we we ain't got to really
Don't
work
forget
that
the
hard. And at the
trees.
same time, we know even if we sign some guys, we're still years away from being like true contenders. So we're not finna just bottom out like that. Just not bottom out. We're not finna just spend all our money up. We're gonna get a young vet, KCP. You still young enough to be around, teach us some stuff, help us get to the playoffs, go deeper. But we're not finna sit there and go all in on like somebody like CJ that's 30, what he is, 32 years old. Still got 2 more years of this contract. Nah, we good. We're gonna get paid KCP $20-something million and keep it pushing. And again, then you look around. If Cleveland didn't want him, and then you think about the other teams that came around, like if Paul George didn't choose to go to Philly, that could have been a scenario. You could have traded him there and then worked out a way to get your center from somewhere else to make
Yeah,
a
like
deal.
team
But
trade.
Paul George went there. The Clippers
Yeah,
ain't got the, but now okay,
Same
you
thing with
let
the Kings.
you
I ain't gonna lie, man. Brandon, like I say, man, I think Brandon unfortunately probably about to work his way out the league. If you look at how we're
Wait, hold
starting to
on,
go,
Nah,
hold on, man. You
he
said
ain't, he ain't
Brandon
going out
Ingram
the
gonna
league.
work his way out the
y'all,
league?
yes,
How do
y'all
you
not.
see that? Like, I mean, I
Why am I
understand
saying
the
that? Because
negativity
everything.
on him, but
Listen, hold on,
that's
listen.
a little bit
Why am I
crazy.
saying that? Because it's about your style of play. Look at his style of play. It's
DeMar
too.
DeRozan.
It's too. Bro, DeMar DeRozan can win games, bro. He can win
And
games at least during the
So can
regular season.
Brandon
During the
Ingram can
regular
win games
listen.
too. Like,
No, he cannot. During the regular season, he can at
come
least
on,
win
man.
games.
Don't do him like
Come on,
he
what?
ain't.
Look at the
I'm not
resume.
saying the way Brandon Ingram
Look at
play,
the
you're
resume,
not gonna be
DC. For
no
DC.
super.
DC, all love. But look at the resume, bro. Keep the facts there.
I got him
DeMar
up
can
here
win in
right
the
here,
regular season. Brandon cannot. He has not done it.
Toronto traded that man because that man
Bruh, he got to the
folded in the
playoffs,
playoffs.
bruh.
bro.
I don't care about that. He
They're
got to the
literally
playoffs, bruh. Brandon is not
in the
doing
East, bro.
anything, bro. He's not doing anything. It's your number one
We
or number
we,
two.
we
He's
we've
Do you
made
clearly
the
showing
play.
realize?
you that.
We've
He's not
made the
doing it.
playoffs.
That's your number
We
one or your
we
number two. So
we
what,
made the playoffs 2 times out of the last 3 years because of Brandon Ingram
bro?
for the
What
most
are you
part.
And
talking?
we in the West.
Lex, please. Why are they getting delusional, Lex? Lex,
I'm
why are they
not
getting
getting
delusional,
delusional,
Lex?
man. You
Y'all
just got
are, bro.
Brandon Ingram
Y'all
hatred
are,
on
bro.
you, bro.
Bro, y'all are getting delusional, bro. Y'all getting
We
delusional,
not
bro.
saying the man is a
Bro,
superstar.
I'm
We
not,
just saying you
and
saying the
I'm
man
not
gonna be out
saying
the
you
league
gotta
in
look,
2 years.
bro. I'm not saying he's a
Bro, that's
bum.
crazy.
I'm not saying he's a bum, right? But
That's
you
what
gotta
if he
look
gonna be
at
out in the league in
look.
2 years. That's bum nature.
No, that is not,
I
bro. That is
think
not,
is
bro.
that
Bro. You gotta understand the league,
Hold on,
bro.
let me let him talk,
It's
man.
like this.
Maybe he got
Look,
a
bro.
grand
It's like
scheme
this,
with
bro.
this.
It's like a Michael Beasley. Even though Michael Beasley is more about his attitude, but that's kind of similar to Bi too. Like, dog,
You see
he
his
can ball.
attitude is that bad?
He can ball. Not saying that I'm comparing his attitude, but I'm just saying I'm trying to compare like a guy
what
that's
his
similar to Bi,
mentality?
right? Like yeah, he wants to be the guy, right? But no organization knows that. Okay, no, you can't come over here and be the guy. It's not going to work, right? But his mentality is still going to be the same. Same thing with Bi. He just wants to be the guy, and unfortunately, no organization know he can be the guy. He can be the guy, and I don't think he's going to take the back seat to any role like that. So I think he's going to work his way out of the league. It's not that he's a bum. It's just how things are orchestrated right now. That's just how it goes, and that's for NFL, for NBA. Some players that happens, man. And then what happens is they do. Years later go by, they're like, man, I should have maybe came to the realization of this. It's just the mentality of it. I'm not saying he's a bum, but look, nobody wants him right now. Well,
He not
nobody
going.
wants him right
Don't
now.
Well,
don't nobody.
Why you
let
think
me tie
nobody
this
wants him?
in
I don't
too.
think
Let me
he's.
Go
tie
ahead.
this in too for a second. I see Big Swole got a question, and I've been having it up here for a minute. He said, "While holding on to Brandon Ingram stunt the Pelicans' growth and hurt us down the road." This topic is already going in that direction, so we might as
Okay.
well answer this question too while we're talking about this, because
Mhm.
my man had already gave his answer. Don already said what he said, but go ahead and make your reply, James.
I'll go. I mean, to answer that question, possibly it's highly possible that him still being on the team could stunt the growth, or they gonna say stunt the growth, but just stunt the team in general because of like if he still continues to uh choose not to shoot the three ball and to help the offense uh be flowing and stuff like that, and then you kind of force our hand. It's like, well, bro, we can't bench you, dog. Like you got to do this. So yeah, that's highly possible because we've seen. I guess, like I said, to me, it's like a 50-50
His
Yeah.
chance.
body is
Like
bullshit.
he
Here's
could
the
he could
bias.
he could do what he did the last couple of years, which not shoot the threes and his 3 points to continue to drop, or he goes back to his shot diet the first 2 years he was here and say, you know what, y'all right, I'm finna sit there because here's my other thing. I'm not at your point where I feel like he gonna be out the league in a couple of years, but I
Bro, I'm
do
telling you,
believe.
bro. That's
Hold on. I
Hold
do
on, let him
believe
finish, bro.
I do believe that he will mess his money up for the future going forward, where he not finna be this. Like you're never going to get another opportunity to get back to that level where
right.
you can be the 40. But at the same time,
And
he is
that
too talented. He is too talented of a
so
scorer, whether or not he shoot threes or
he is.
not.
But
For
will he
because I guarantee you, if you replace Brandon, if you replace Michael Porter Jr. on Denver with Brandon Ingram, you might well wrap it up and go ahead and get him the championship because Michael Porter Jr. the only thing he could do is shoot the ball. He can't play no defense. He can't. He needs Jokic to set him up. Brandon Ingram is a one-on-one cooker. And
if you can, absolutely, you're right. No, he can cook. He can cook. You're right. He can cook. But is this about what BI is willing to do? Michael Porter Jr. is willing to do certain things. BI, will he be willing to do certain things?
Michael Porter is not willing to do a lot of things because that's the reason why they bitch about him a lot.
Well, first of all, they got champions. They got a championship, so
because of Jokic.
Okay, we know that, man. But hey, come on, they got a championship with him being on the team. So anyway, that's the point. What you call him? But if BI is willing to do that, of course he can be on plenty of teams and have a great position on that team, man, and impact the game, man. He's a talent, dog. I mean, I seen him coming out of college. I said, man, dude, pretty talented.
He went number 2 overall for a reason.
Was never really, yeah, he talented as hell, bro. Who wouldn't be excited about that?
Who else was in that draft class?
Number 1 was Ben Simmons. Number 3 was shoot,
that was a bad
3?
1, 2.
Tatum.
Well, Ben Simmons supposed to be like generational until he did that bullshit. Like let's act like the man wasn't an all NBA player. Like he was.
He got like what 4 straight All-Stars or 3 straight All-Stars or something like that.
And all defense team.
But I'm just living in the basketball reality. You know
Jason Tatum went after
Tatum was third
after Brandon Ingram.
I thought Jason Tatum went. No,
I think they went a year ahead of each other.
Brandon went before Tatum.
Right. That was the next. That was the next year.
Yeah.
I can't think who was 3.
third?
Because I thought it was
you know what?
Brown?
Him and Jaylen Brown. Yeah.
Jaylen Brown.
I thought
Jaylen
Jaylen Brown was like 7
same
or 8.
class, and Tatum was in the one afterward. Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah, that's what.
So he was again like Brandon Ingram was seen as one dude. What I'm just saying is that the reason why I still have hope out for Brandon because at this point it's not really honest. I mean, for this year, to start the season, because I don't believe he's going to last beyond the trade deadline. But I do believe that he will help himself this year because if y'all remember last year, and that's why I can't go all in all the time because I remember a lot of shit that happened, throughout the season. And there was a point before, like there was like I think a month and a half span after All-Star and before he got hurt, where Brandon Ingram was just doing all the little shit. He was playing defense. He was I think he was getting blocks and steals. He was sitting there passing the ball. He actually, I think, at some point started shooting more threes. In situations where we complained about him getting hurt and probably leaving the game. Right. And I remember what was that? It was the New York Indiana Pacers back to back. They played New York, won. Brandon Ingram hurt his ankle, came back in the game, played. And I was like, oh, okay, like that's different because you that look like a bad ankle injury. He was going to sit that out. So then I'm also thinking, okay, back to back, they had playing troubles too. Man, he finna sit out day. I'm cool with that. It is what it is. Now he plays, so I'm like, oh, okay, this different now. I'm like, and they tried their hardest to win that game, and so
what game was that?
That was the Indiana Pacers game. They end up losing by 15. But again, they came in late. No matter of fact, I don't think they got into like that same day.
They got in the same day, man.
Is that the game?
I didn't even think they had
is that the game that we
in the morning. They wasn't even.
That the game that they beat us, or that the game we?
Yeah, that's the game they beat us. That's the game they beat us. So I was like, and I think they got down by 20 real quick. So I was like, I kind of expected that, and then they fought back and damn near got like, I think 5 points within the score before some bullshit happened. They end up ending the game. And so I'm just like, okay, I see it. And every night I kept seeing more and more of it. And there was situations where like we played against Cleveland and he switched on to Jared Allen and Jared Allen struggled against him. Like he was guarding the 5 that night. And like it just unfortunately they was hitting a whole bunch of threes. And the shit just went haywire for us. But like he was doing a little shit. And then he gets hurt in a freak injury type situation. And it's a real injury. Not like, oh, he could play on this. Like, nah, bro, like I don't even know if he gonna play the rest of the season, and he still chooses to come back and try to play, and that's why part of me is like, maybe it would have been better if you didn't play for your money and health wise, and how everything looked.
Yeah,
But I can't be mad. I can't be mad about it because the last image everybody has is Lou Dort giving this man the business, and so that's the lasting image everybody has. Not understanding this man came back early from a knee injury that he probably shouldn't have, but understanding Zion just fucking gave his life on the court versus the Lakers trying to help us win. So he gonna say, well, I'm not gonna just have us miss the playoff again. I'm not gonna sit there just hang us up to dry. I'm still gonna play, and if you play, we still expect you to play like yourself. But unfortunately, he wasn't, and he looked bad. And then he ended the season bad on a bad note with the confrontation with him and Willie Green, and then you hear all this stuff going on in the offseason. So it's just been a bad year for that man, and I hate it. And it's just like I said, I don't believe he's at a point where if he go into free agency next year, he's finna sign a minimum contract and be out of the league in a couple years if he don't pan out. That's not gonna happen.
No, I'm not.
He's too talented for that. Now I do agree that if he don't do what he needs to do this year, that upper echelon of salary that he could make is now going to be depreciated. Like you, that $50 million, go ahead and cancel that, brother. You might well go and sign for 25 going forward. Like
now look, DeMar DeRozan is a perfect
how about
example.
This, though? Yeah. Right. How about this though?
That was a steal by the King.
How about this? You remember? I feel like because Bi just made a big post on his page about value, didn't he?
Yeah.
If you're not valued in the environment you're in, maybe you need to change environments because it will stunt your growth.
Right. He want to be in an environment that values him. Now, his definition of his own value, it might be a certain dollar amount. So I don't know. Maybe somebody overseas might give him that dollar.
No, ain't nobody finna get. Ain't nobody paying nobody no $50 million overseas.
Okay.
And even then, he's not. Yeah, ain't nobody making like.
I mean, you might as well be in the NBA if you're gonna get paid.
I'm about to say, like, the whole point of them coming over here is the fact that
more
I
money.
can make generational. Like the only people that go overseas to make more money with the WNBA because they were paying them pennies.
Right,
but like, so like that's the thing that he not doing that. And again, like you said, DeMar DeRozan, like one of the reasons why, and you said, he played a lot of games last year. What happened in Chicago? What happened with them?
To my DeMar?
Yeah.
But you can't just. Well, I don't want you to just point out last year.
But that's
part of it, bro.
Hold on. Don't do that. Why we y'all trying to compare him to Bi right now? Again?
No, I'm not saying he's the best. I am.
GT just said yeah.
What happened with Chicago? They picked up Giddey, and he was upset about that. He was like, "What direction is the team going in?"
DeMar DeRozan?
And after,
DeMar DeRozan was upset about them getting Giddey?
Yeah. Yeah, because he didn't understand that. He was like, how is that making us better?
If he would,
he wasn't feeling that move.
For them,
looking at what Lonzo Ball did, and then losing him, they kind of broke up their whole team. Man, having somebody to facilitate.
Back. He's been
not
playing
be on the ball. Come on, Lex. He's been out for like 2 years though.
I'm just saying. I've watched some of his runs and things. He don't seem like he's skittish out there playing.
When don't hit back
in the NBA.
Yeah, might say when he get that.
I know. I understand runs ain't the same thing, but
you talking about Bi, bro. Bi is a player in the game, bro, that can give you 25, 5, and 5.
And showcase Michael Beasley.
Man, Mike Beasley was not giving you 25, 5, and 5.
Okay,
bro. I don't believe that.
But Mike Beasley, I'll tell you this, and I think a lot of people would agree. Between Brandon Ingram and Mike Beasley probably the far more talented player. Matter of fact, he was more talented than a lot of players. Over
LeBron and D Wade said that.
But here's the thing, though. It wasn't even just the attitude. It was the inconsistency. Like it was the situation of like, hey, I might get 40 from you today. Tomorrow I might get 5. Like that's the thing. Where it was just also that with him. Like and again,
don't sound like he had enough skill and his talent, but not enough skill.
It wasn't even just. He had skill. It was that he didn't have the want to. He didn't give a fuck. like he didn't care enough about
It was
basketball.
maturity, and
Or maybe
and
not
that
even
was
not
one
caring
thing
about
that they
basketball
had
because he loves
concern
basketball. It was
anyway.
Well,
more
I'm
maturity.
saying, okay, it's
like you said, Lex.
let me correct that. Not care about basketball because there's
Mm-hmm.
caring about basketball like, oh, I love basketball, and then
Yeah.
there's Brandon Ingram and there's Brandon Ingram and Kevin Durant basketball where like nigga, I'm sitting up all night watching nothing but basketball. Forget these hoes, I don't get up nothing about nothing. I'm going to watch this basketball game because I'm just all I do is watch basketball. I watch basketball, I sleep basketball, I dream basketball. Michael Beasley, like whatever I gotta do to be better at basketball, I do it. Michael Beasley more like just put me out there and play. All this practice and shit, I don't want to do that. But
Right.
just throw me out
Kept
there.
falling asleep and
Right.
Right, yeah. Back in the day, yeah. Back then,
right.
yeah.
So that's my thing when it comes to that. But like even then, like, and I keep bringing this up too. Like y'all talk about the whole Kessler thing, right? And going back to that, I feel like the Kessler would end up on this team two ways. Either they trade Brandon Ingram to Utah and get Kessler and John Collins, because there's not just gonna be one of them, it's gonna be for both of them. Or they trade Hawk to get Kessler. Cause
I don't want him to do that.
But why not though? Because at this
I don't
point,
think gonna get him.
Willie's
I'm
not
gonna-
used to him.
no, I'm gonna tell you the reason why I say that, because think about it. So
Willie ain't gonna be coaching this team anyway, so I want Hawk to stay.
but that's terrible because my thing. So here's my issue when everybody get mad that when a nigga can't shoot when a nigga can shoot threes ain't getting no run because he don't do nothing. He too small. He can't defend. He don't get rebound, but because he's score, he great.
I'm on the line.
But guess what? Here's another thing is too. Y'all watched him in summer league this year too. He did not separate himself. Summer league when he
my Jordan Hawkins.
Jordan Hawkins.
Yeah, but in summer league,
way he
James,
was
they
No,
put him
out
in
of
a situation.
Wait, no.
They put him in a situation not to succeed. They took his
Yeah,
lead.
he really did.
They found a thing that he is the worst at. He's not great at being a point guard. His dribble game is probably one of the weaker aspects of his game. He's a very good rebounder, and he does play not horrible defense to me.
No,
Obviously, he needs to work on it. But
he plays absolutely terrible defense. That man,
I
the
mean,
only.
Hey,
He was the only negative.
It ain't no
Okay.
different than CJ. It ain't no
better than
different.
CJ.
No.
CJ
CJ was a lot better defender. CJ was a lot better defender, even though it was not great defense, or he was a lot better at defense than what Jordan Hawkins is. You don't want to believe me? You go sit there and go look at the numbers.
No, I'm looking at.
What?
I'm go on, DC. DC. Hello.
Yeah, he done caused BC to pass out over that, James.
DC. Yo. Jay Black, did you want to come in?
Oh, Jay Black in the building?
Yeah,
man, bring Jay Black up, man. What's up, my brother? Jay Black, that's
DC, are you there?
That's my guy though.
What happened?
I made that man
Bring my
get
brother
so
Jay
upset
Black
he
up,
knocked
man.
this stuff over. I was just saying, like, if you think I compare him to same, like, okay, everybody want to talk about Willie for like not playing those type of guys. This ain't just a Willie thing. This is a league thing, because you think about what's the player that everybody say they should give like this player this much run on Denver a couple years ago. It was Bones Highland, right? He was scoring all these points and everything like this. But you kept hearing from the coach, Mike Malone, that he kept getting the doghouse because the man don't play defense. He don't get steals. He don't do all this stuff we need him to do. We have scorers. That's what the stars is for. No, wait, hold on. So they didn't play him. Guess what they did? They traded him to the Clippers. Everybody said, okay, now he gonna get the run started. But what Tyronn Lue gonna give him a chance? Guess what he's doing now? He's still sitting on the bench. Because why?
But I feel like that's different.
He don't get no steals.
It's different personnel too, because Bones ain't really fit with what Denver needed. Jordan,
and they got rid of him.
But I'm saying Jordan fits perfectly for what we need. So
no, he don't, because my thing, listen. There's a difference. His offensive skill as far as a movement shooter. Yes,
yeah.
But again, there's multiple facets of the game,
right?
Other than just shooting the ball. The reason why Trey Murphy, the reason why Trey Murphy can get in the game and be effective outside of just shooting the ball, because he's 6'10", because he's athletic, because he can get deflections, because he's long and he plays defense and get rebounds. Hawk he's again, unfortunately, he's small. He's slender. He's not Jose that's compact that can stand his own. He don't get the steal that Jose does. Every time, as much as everybody bitched and complained about the units that Willie Green was putting out
I
there,
have a problem with Jose.
hold on, wait. No. Everybody, it was a lot of people sitting there saying, why is Najee Marshall getting minutes? It was a lot of people sitting there saying that at some point Hawk gonna steal. Because remember, it was a point that Jose didn't play. Even after he came back from injury, that was the point that Jose did not play and Hawk was getting all the minutes. And people was getting mad. And I said, who minutes did you think he was gonna take?
Subscribe now and stay up to date for all things